The Battle of Go Cong, fought on September 3, 1963, was a significant engagement in the Vietnam War, reflecting the military situation in Pho Quoc at that time. This battle involved South Vietnamese forces and the Viet Cong, showcasing the insurgency's strength in the Mekong Delta and the challenges faced by the Saigon government. This channel's mission is to challenge the Vietnam orthodoxy. Much of what you know about the Vietnam War is either incomplete or false. To support this channel and its mission, please subscribe and like the video. In 1963, South Vietnam was embroiled in a violent struggle against the Viet Cong insurgency. President Ngo Dinh Diem's regime was also dealing with the internal unrest of the Buddhist crisis, and the strategic hamlet program, aimed at isolating the Viet Cong from the rural population, was faltering. The town of Go Cong, located in the Mekong Delta, was strategically significant due to its proximity to Saigon and the rich agricultural lands of the Delta. Controlling this area was vital for both the South Vietnamese government and the Viet Cong. In the weeks leading up to the battle, intelligence reports indicated increased Viet Cong activity in the Go Cong region. The Viet Cong were reportedly gathering strength and preparing for a significant offensive. In response, the South Vietnamese army planned an operation to preemptively strike the Viet Cong forces and secure the area. The Au Van forces, including the 7th Infantry Division, were tasked with the operation. The division, under the command of Colonel Bui Dinh Diem, was ordered to sweep through the region, engage the Viet Cong, and re-establish government control. On the morning of September 3, 1963, Au Van troops began their operation, advancing towards Go Cong. The Viet Cong, aware of the Au Van's movements, had prepared an ambush, and as the lead elements of the 7th Infantry Division entered the outskirts of Go Cong, they encountered intense small arms and machine gun fire from well-concealed Viet Cong positions. The initial contact caught the Au Van off guard, leading to confusion and heavy casualties. The Viet Cong, utilising guerrilla tactics, struck swiftly and then withdrew, only to re-engage from different positions. Colonel Diem, realising the severity of the situation, called for reinforcements. Additional Au Van units, including mechanised infantry and artillery support, were dispatched to support the embattled troops. The Au Van's response included heavy artillery barrages aimed at dislodging the Viet Cong from their fortified positions. Despite the reinforcements, the Au Van struggled to gain the upper hand. The Viet Cong's knowledge of the terrain and their hit-and-run tactics made it difficult for the Au Van to mount an effective counterattack. Throughout the day, fierce skirmishes erupted in and around Go Cong, with both sides sustaining significant casualties. As the battle moved into the town of Go Cong itself, the fighting became even more brutal. Urban combat posed new challenges, with the Viet Cong using buildings and narrow streets to their advantage. The Au Van's attempts to clear the town were met with stiff resistance, leading to house-to-house fighting. The presence of civilians in Go Cong added to the complexity of the battle. Many residents were caught in the crossfire, and the town suffered extensive damage. Efforts by the Au Van to evacuate civilians were hampered by the intensity of the combat, and the Viet Cong's strategic use of populated areas to shield their movements. By the evening of September 3rd, the Viet Cong began to withdraw from Go Cong, having inflicted considerable damage on the Au Van forces and disrupted their operations. The withdrawal was orderly, with the Viet Cong using the cover of darkness to evade pursuing Au Van units. The Au Van, exhausted and having sustained heavy losses, secured Go Cong, but at significant cost. The town was left in ruins, and the Au Van's control over the area remained tenuous. The United States, heavily invested in supporting the Diem regime, closely monitored the Battle of Go Cong. American military advisors were embedded with Au Van units and provided critical assessments of the battle's progress and outcome. Initial reports from American advisors painted a grim picture. The Au Van's inability to effectively counter the Viet Cong's tactics and the significant casualties sustained underscored the challenges of fighting a guerrilla war and the need for better training and equipment for the Au Van. In response to the battle, the United States decided to increase its military support to South Vietnam. This included sending more advisors, improving training programs, and providing additional military equipment. The aim was to bolster the Au Van's capabilities and enhance their ability to combat the Viet Cong. The Battle of Go Cong highlighted the challenges faced by the South Vietnamese government and its military forces. The battle demonstrated the Viet Cong strength in the Mekong Delta area and the limitations of the ARVN, raising serious concerns about the effectiveness of South Vietnam's counter-insurgency efforts in 4 Corps. The situation in Saigon, marked by political instability and an August coup attempt, further complicated the military challenges. For the United States, the battle prompted a strategic reassessment and a decision to increase support for South Vietnam, reflecting the complexities and high stakes of the conflict.